How to make an SSH tunnel publicly accessible? Referring back to this question, I am executing the below via openssh, client, macOS X 10.6, server, Linux Mint. However, the port that is being tunneled is not working publicly. The purpose is so the local port can be opened on the remote computer. It seems as if the remote side binds only on localhost instead of to all interfaces. It works when opening the port on localhost on the remote computer, but when trying to access the public IP of the remote computer from my local computer, the port doesn't seem to be open. How would I make the tunnel public on the IP for anyone to access?
If you check the man page for SSH, you'll find that the syntax for a reads: when bind_address is omitted, as in your example, the port is bound on the loopback interface only. In order to make it bind to all interfaces, use or the first version binds to all interfaces individually. The second version creates a general IP4 only bind, which means that the port is accessible on all interfaces via IP4. The third version is probably technically equivalent to the first, but again it creates only a single bind to column, which means that the port is accessible via IP6 natively and via IP4 through IP4 mapped IP6 addresses. Doesn't work on Windows, openssh. You need the quotes because column could be interpreted as a glob otherwise. Note that if you use openssh SSHD server, the server's gateway ports option needs to be enabled, client specified, or, in rare cases, to yes. For this to work, check file/etc/ssh/sshd_config on the server. Otherwise, default value for this option is no. The server will always force the port to be bound on the loopback interface only.
Edit. G works for local forwarded ports, but what you want is a reverse/remote forwarded port, which is different. What you want is this. Essentially, on example.com, set gateway ports equals client specified in /etc/ssh/sshd_config. Previous, incorrect, answer. Use the G option. From SSH's man page.
Here's my answer for completion. I ended up using SSH or ... for tunneling, and using SSH on top of that for redirecting network traffic to 127.0.0.1. Tunnel binded to 127.0.0.1. SSH or MIM column 9999 column, my .ip, column 8084 me at MIM. SSH. MIM SSH TCP listen column 9090. Fork TCP column 127.0.0.1 column 9999. Other option is to do a local only tunnel on top of that, but I find this much slower. MIM's SSHL, mint.ip.address, column 9090 column localhost column 9999 localhost.
You can also use a double forward if you want, or can change /etc/ssh/sshd_config. First forward to temporary port, for example 10,080, on loopback device on the remote machine, then use local forward there to redirect port 10,080 to 80 on all interfaces.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.